Hello. Thank you for being here with me. Please let me know if you can hear me, if everything is okay with the sound. And I am ready to answer your questions about manifestation. I can hear you. Hi, Kevin. Thank you. I also have an announcement to make, which I will do a little bit later. And how are you guys? What are you up to? What are you manifesting? What are you struggling with? What questions do you have? Happy Friday to you. Oh, hi, Richie. By the way, I just saw your comment on my post about the Manifest Your Dream Relationship course. I am creating a course all about manifesting your dream relationship, both for those of you who have an SP and for those who have not. The process is the same, but in the course, I'm going to clarify a little bit so that you're sure what to do. And I had asked what you would like for a course like this to include if you were to purchase it. And if you have anything, you're welcome to tell me here also. Otherwise, the post is on my channel. So I am ready. If anytime you guys are ready to ask questions about manifestation, can I ask you first? For those of you who have consciously manifested anything, what has been the easiest process for you? And by the way, I have said this in videos also. There are people who use the same method for manifesting anything. And then, for example, there are people who affirm for anything, or there are those who just visualize anything. Then there are people like me who pick and choose different methods, different techniques for each manifestation. Those of you who have manifested like anything, what has been the easiest process for you? I think for me, it's been visualization. Someone who rarely drinks coffee, drinking coffee or color of clothes. Yeah, I used both visualization and affirmations. So for those, so far, those have been the easiest. So visualization and affirmations. Yeah, always use what is easiest for you. There is no point in forcing a method on yourself. But I have to tell you that if there's a technique that doesn't come easily and you want to use it, you can train it. I am naturally very visual, but when I first started conscious manifestation, I had like, first of all, it took me a little bit of time before I understood how exactly to visualize. But I had a problem with concentration and seeing things clearly because, the mind that isn't trained. And I really, really wanted to manifest through visualization. I had just gotten into Neville Goddard, and he talks a lot about visualization. So I literally trained myself by repeating, coming back to it, coming back to it. Just like you train your mind with an affirmation, you can train your mind for a technique also with the same method of repetition. Hey, how to realize no re, no release, you mean? Yes, how to release a doubt about my partner if he is for me. Thank you. If the doubt is if he is for you, you are the one deciding. I already sense what's behind this. There's a lot of, if this is meant to be, the universe has something better in store for you, etc. There's no such thing. If you desire this person, all you need to do is simply to manifest. If you have the thought continuously coming up, what if he's not the right person for me? Then my question would be, why not? If there are problems, you are incompatible, there are things about the person that you would like to be differently, this is all manifestation. The person is you pushed out, you can manifest the version of the person that you want. So if you want the person, then they are the right one for you, and change that thought. Of course they are. Thinking of this, what are some real world examples of mental conversations? How is it different than a visualization? Just a different sense? Yes. And, I have also thought a lot about this. When I do inner conversations, for me, I guess you can do it in two ways. I always see the person that I'm talking to or who is talking to me. So sort of it is a visualization with a conversation, but you can also simply hear the voice only. For people who aren't really good with visualization, but they can hear the voice clearly, you can use just that. So did I clarify? But for me, when I do inner conversations, it's a visualization, yeah, with a conversation. Where, for example, when I'm manifesting objects, I am seeing the object either in my hand or on a table. There's no conversation. With an inner conversation, there's me and the person talking, or it can be something like a telephone conversation where you just hear the person talk and you don't have to visualize speaking on the phone. You can simply hear the voice, and that is also one of your senses, so it manifests. I had an interesting thing happen yesterday while I was in the shower. I closed my eyes for a moment and saw the words, "You won $2,500,000." I wasn't even thinking consciously about money. Well, something has gotten into your subconscious mind. Your mind brings up things that is already in your awareness. So wonderful. I would say keep visualizing it on purpose. It happens, I have had this happen to me too, where the mind just brings up the perfect visualization scene. It's wonderful. Keep imagining it, keep taking it as a fact, and I would love to hear that you won that money. um, yes, that makes sense for the inner conversation. Sometimes I forget how someone sounds or looks like, then brings in doubt. I think I'm being a perfectionist. Yeah, maybe you are. It's okay to be a perfectionist, but don't let it stop you from getting started. Just start. I have had a similar thing happen a lot with affirmations when I'm starting a manifestation and I don't really know what to affirm. So I affirm everything that comes to mind. And at some point, my mind chooses. Happens with visualization too. And with the voice, if you have an audio message, a voice message of the person somewhere, just listen to it. And it brings back the memory of their voice. That is also a trick I have used. Or look at a picture. But otherwise, it's a lot about just getting started and starting to do the work. And at first, it's always weird. It's always weird. It doesn't resonate. So with repetition, it either starts resonating, or your mind brings up the thing that is better, more comfortable to affirm or visualize. Maybe Back to the money, winning money. Maybe it has to do with me affirming that everything is always working in my favor. Yes. And then based on your other assumptions, your mind brings up things, working up everything working in your favor. Like for you, it could mean winning a lot of money. For another person, maybe that's not even in their mind. It's something else. So it's again, it's all based on your own assumptions. It very well could be this. And it's wonderful, when the mind brings up the visualization on its own, it's so effortless. It's so natural. The other visualization scenes also become natural with a repetition, but this just starts out natural. Hi Anna, hello there. Hi Maria. I'm using SATS to manifest, but I have a lot of things I want to manifest. Do I have to visualize every night until it manifests, or can I just do 1 week of SATS for each manifestation? I would say keep visualizing the same thing until it sinks in. Not that it necessarily manifests in the 3D, that is also an option. But I would say persist in the same thing until it sinks in. And you will know visualization. Other people have just mentioned visualization too. Visualization is one of the most magical techniques. And the moment that your mind accepts it, you will know, because it will literally feel like a real life experience in that moment. And it will feel so real, so true. And this comes again from practicing it, the repetition of it, the continuously experiencing it in your mind to the best of your ability. But at some point, when it sinks in, it's like real. And then another thing that indicates that it has sunk in is that your mind becomes naturally, like from the end, the day after, you have no negative thoughts, there's no stress about it, etc. So I would say persist in the same thing until your mind accepts it, until it gets impressed. And what I do with SATs, I also almost always have several manifestations. For the nighttime SATs, I always pick the most important in the moment. Though I just realized that the other day I manifested $30 and it came out of nowhere. So I think that also helped. Yes, you are manifesting money and you have no idea. So keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep affirming. Also, keep visualizing that scene that came to mind. Maybe pay attention to what thoughts you are having around money. Usually, with money specifically, the best time to really pay attention is how you react whenever you have to spend money. What is your reaction? And it doesn't matter what you're spending it on, but in that moment, usually your whole body tells you what state you're in. Hi, Andrea. Weight loss follow up. When I'm catching my beliefs to change them, how often should I be focusing on them during the day? I find it hard to do, especially when feeling the body I'm in. Literally every time you become aware, for now at least, every time you see your body, you become aware that you're overweight, you feel overweight, and every time the thought pops up. Because if you don't do that, I think I mentioned this in my latest video also. Whatever thoughts you already have, your current story is already impressed. So when that comes up and you don't change it, it's so easy for your mind to believe that because it's already impressed. So therefore, it's important that when it comes up, you challenge it. Every time you change it, you challenge the old story. There are people on my channel who keep asking about this unlimited number of things and everything happen immediately. For example, can I create an unlimited number of SPs from scratch? If you can impress that on your subconscious mind, then yes. Whatever I write in the scripts, what does this mean? Well, they turn out exactly like that. Everything their past, their lives, whatever I write will be. Not whatever you write, if you're writing in as in scripting, but whatever gets impressed. So if you're continuously writing the same thing, yes, it will get impressed. And yes, if you're manifesting an SP from scratch or an infinite number of SPs, as you say, your mind will have to manifest that person the way that you have impressed on your subconscious mind. Well, I noticed that also the other day, same day I manifested $30, I had someone contact me about giving me $2 million. As we were talking, I noticed that I wasn't excited, just normal. You're on fire with money. Like, I want to hear the success story of this at some point. It turned out in the 3D, it was a scam, but I kept saying that this is showing me something. Yes, you like your 3D is showing you only what you are aware of. And of course, now you are aware of scammers existing and things like that existing too, the mix of different assumptions. But I'm really excited to hear more about this, to be honest. Keep affirming. I don't know what you're doing. Keep doing it. And pay attention to your natural thoughts about money. Richie, can I ask you, since your comment was public, you said that you have a hard time coming up with a visualization scene when it comes to the end goal. Is this in general, or is it something specific? Because what that brings in mind for me is that, for example, with some manifestations, I myself don't know what to visualize when it comes to, for example, I have talked about this in videos. Like if I'm manifesting an X amount of money to come in every month or every week or every something, I never figured out how to visualize it, but it's easier to affirm, because then you can affirm I'm receiving, I don't know, $2.5 million every month. Hi, I don't know where my SP is. I don't know if he is alive or not. And also, he doesn't know me. I only saw him once. I felt my 3D so hard in this case. Is that possible to manifest him? Yes, it is possible to manifest him. You have to stick to your end goal, whatever you're manifesting. Maybe you're manifesting meeting, maybe you're manifesting whatever you're manifesting. Stick to your end goal and don't repeat this story. Every time this story comes up to your mind, go to your end goal instead. Yes, for SP specifically, for the visualization scene. Also, I get bored of visualizing the same scene and it becomes so hard to repeat it or get started for the period. Persisting is rough. I do visualizations two ways. If a visualization is about a manifestation that is something very specific, I don't know, you getting a job, you getting a contract, you buying a computer or receiving a computer, I don't know, something like that, something very specific, that is so much easier to have the visualization seen and repeat. You can do this with SP also. You can do it with a romantic situation, like, for example, a kiss. It can repeat, loop forever. But Then there are situations where you are manifesting, again, if you're talking about an SP, a relationship that includes a lot of things. There's, I don't know, as self-concept related things. There are different situations you want to include. In that case, it can be very useful to visualize different scenes, imagine different scenes. And also, yes, also in your case, if that's even not the case, you just get bored. Instead of getting bored and forcing it on yourself, just to, I have to do it this way, imagine different scenarios that you want to experience as long as that's from the end, as long as you're not imagining arguments um, or old unwanted stuff. You can imagine different scenarios. The way that is helpful is that it creates the whole image of your relationship, and it can include, for example, if you're manifesting being chosen by your person, being chosen can happen in a million different ways in that same relationship. You can imagine all those scenarios. The important thing is what state it puts you in. For anyone who is manifesting an SP, don't ignore self concept. SPs tend to bring up a lot of self concept stuff, so don't ignore those. I've taken inspiration for a lot of visualization and affirmations from your videos. Very helpful. Thank you. I'm glad they're helpful. Um, all my videos are based on my own experience, and my own experience is based on mostly Neville Goddard. But whatever I'm talking about in the videos, I've learned by doing it, and then what I have done myself, I apply in sessions also with coaching clients. So problem solving. Um, I am really good at problem solving when it comes to manifestation because I started out doing everything wrong. And it is really funny now, but it was super frustrating back then. So I literally learned first. I learned everything that didn't work, but then again, when you start really applying the work correctly, even then problems come up. Negative things come up, and you have to have a method to deal with them. So I'm really happy that my videos have been helpful. Hi, all of you who just joined. As for affirmations, by the way, I know that a lot of people take affirmations from videos, manifestation videos, online books. Even Joseph Murphy's books are full of affirmations, although his affirmations are the paragraph each. Make your own affirmations. When I'm working with clients and we're working with affirmations, I give them affirmations based on the situation, the limiting beliefs that come up. And I always tell them, and this is what I'm telling all of you now, make it yours. When I give you affirmations, sometimes I come up with affirmations for videos too, or I give you my own affirmations that I affirm myself. If there's anything you want to change in the affirmation, do it. The affirmation I give you is not a law. It's just a thought. If there's a better word that you want to use, another synonym that sounds better for you, especially for those of you who do affirm in English, but English is not your first language. Some things may resonate, other things may not. Or for those of you whose mother tongue is English, you may use some words differently, or use more complicated words that are very natural to you. Do that. Affirm your desires the way that is natural to you, because it's your story, it's your mind. So no point in there was a period, I don't know if this is still a thing, where there were a lot of affirmations floating online with difficult words like fancy sentences, and people were affirming all these. There's no point in that, especially if you're not used to using the word. It will take your mind a few repetitions until it gets used to the word, you get used to the meaning of it. I mean, if you want to do it, you can do it, but simplify and just affirm the way you talk. Okay, so let me tell you what I was going to announce. I will make a separate video about this, but I will take the opportunity to tell you during this live that I am starting a weekly group coaching sessions with a monthly subscription, which is going to be very affordable. This is probably the most affordable coaching you can get. I hope this was the point of it. It is going to be in groups with 1 hour coaching session every single week. The cost of it is going to be $159 for the month. So 4 coaching sessions, of course, in groups, which is far more affordable than one-on-one coaching. During these sessions, I'm going to coach you in your situation. It is not going to be like a YouTube live. We are going to have a conversation. So I'm going to be able to do it like in one-on-one coaching sessions, where you bring up the problem. I will have questions to go in depth and see what limiting beliefs are behind it, etc., etc. I am going to give you homework, and we're going to work on the topics that you're manifesting, and do challenges if everyone is in on it. And there's different reasons. There are different reasons why I wanted to start this. I have been wanting to do something like this for a while. One is always the question of it being affordable and more accessible for more people. Of course, it's in groups, so it has to be more accessible and affordable than one-on-one coaching. And also, since I started coaching, I have always had clients who would book one-on-one coaching sessions, of course, to help me manifest, have me help them manifest their desires. But I have had many clients who would come to me for one-on-one coaching for the purpose of talking about manifestation, or for the purpose of having me do a pep talk for them, or help them stay on track. And this is going to be something like that, where we have a session every single week. We talk about what problems come up. I give you solutions, etc. So it's a way to help you stay on track, be consistent, because coaching helps with that. And it's not necessary to book a one-on-one coaching session just to have me help you stay on track. You can choose to do this. My one-on-one coaching will continue just as usual, but this is just another opportunity for anyone who is interested. Please contact me from my booking page. It's not binding to contact me, by the way. If you want more information, anything, there's a contact form you can on my booking page that you can contact me from. Back to the questions. What does it mean when you are manifesting something that after a while you forget about it and move on to something else? Does it mean you are in the wish fulfilled and it's unfolding perfectly? This is exactly what happens towards the end of your manifestation. I mean, unless you're in a state where you have given up on it and you still have your negative story, I don't know if that's the case. If it's not, usually what happens with manifestation is that with practice, you think about it less and less and less and less. This is the real letting go. It happens because of your work, the work that you have done. Never force letting go, detachment. It's all bullshit. So this is exactly the place you want to be after a while. So if you're not having negative thoughts, but you're just thinking less about your manifestation, this is a good sign. Good job. I've also been affirming to go back to my old job as a teacher at the same school I was at, but with some newfound knowledge to teach the students. Yeah, affirm what you are currently comfortable with. You can go to the end, or you can manifest in steps if that's the thing, but go to the end. Hello, Anna. Hi there. Is it possible to literally create everything exactly the way I want, right in front of me, out of nothing? Yeah, you do that already. You are already creating everything in front of you. Already creating, not creating, manifesting, because creation is finished, everything is created, you're manifesting. You didn't just start manifesting just because you learned about it. You have manifested since the day of your birth, even before, but we don't go into that here. And you will manifest whether you're conscious of it or not. So you can only experience in your 3D the things that you manifested. So if you start choosing your thoughts and keeping a mental diet, affirming only what you want, then yes, that is going to be the result. Thanks, Anna. That is reassuring. Yes, I am just thinking about the desire less and not having negative thoughts or stories. You're doing a great job. Someone is saying, "Hi, Anna, you look so beautiful." Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. By the way, Katrina, what you are describing there is what happens in general also. The more you manifest things, whatever, whether it's like going back to the old job like Kevin, or money, or I don't know, a cup of coffee, whatever you're manifesting, every time you are manifesting, you are shaping your mind, which also means that you are getting rid of limiting beliefs. So the more you manifest, as a result, the less limiting beliefs you are going to have. And what happens is that for the next manifestation, you already start out with less limiting beliefs. So you start out less stressed and less, you still have the negative thoughts coming up about the situation, depending on what situation you're in. But it's just that you generally will have less negative thoughts and less obsessions and less, oh my God, I can't do this, I have to affirm all day, and stuff like that. That usually happens a lot in the beginning. Back to affirmations. How does affirming in a mother tongue or not interplay with the subconscious being copy paste? Can I ask you to clarify what you mean? Your mind is going to manifest whatever you are affirming, whether it's in your mother tongue or not. Therefore, it's important to understand what you're affirming. when I had just started this whole manifestation journey, and it all started out with the law of attraction. By the way, whoever is interested and hasn't seen that video, I have a video on my channel where I talk about how it started for me. Um, and I was trying everything, like everything. Nothing was working. So I need to try everything so that I don't miss the thing that could work. One of the things that I did was chanting Indian, Buddhist, Eastern. I think it's an Eastern phenomenon. And of course, it didn't do anything. Like, I wasn't understanding what the hell I was chanting, but it was like some words, sounds. Like, for me, it was like bullshit sounds, which it wasn't. Of course, when you like, if I had to I don't know, affirm the simplest thing in Japanese, I wouldn't understand it at all, so my mind wouldn't take it. The same was with all those other ancient language chanters. I don't know why I was doing it. So nothing happened as a result of that, even though, the things were introduced as, this chant manifests money, this chant manifests the love of your life, this chant manifests health, etc. Never manifested anything, probably because I also didn't believe enough in it. But my mind wasn't understanding what I was like. What is this? What is this? So it's important to understand whether you are affirming in your mother tongue or a second, third, fourth language. I apologize for being unclear. No problem at all. One time I had heard your subconscious will understand what you want. But I don't think that is wholly true. Yeah, I'm not sure that's completely true either. Unless you have strong assumptions about things like this, I think, again, because, for example, there are a lot of coaches, and maybe not a lot of coaches, some coaches say that you can affirm in the negative. For example, I am not sick, which probably works for some people. It doesn't work with me. Me, especially being quite visual, if I affirm I am not sick or somebody is not sick, I see pictures, and the pictures are of a sick person. When I affirm I'm healthy or somebody is healthy, I immediately see someone vibrant, energetic, healthy. So, how would I make my mind understand that when I'm saying I am not sick, somebody is not sick, to understand that it's health? I don't know. It feels like a lot of work, unnecessary work. Anna, hello. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I hope you're well. I am, thank you. In terms of love, meaning making someone fall in love, and other types of relationships, is there a limit to the number of SPs, or is it unlimited? No. Who decides? If you want to have 7 boyfriends, it's your reality. Manifest that reality. This, by the way, there's a lot of societal norms, but like, it's up to you to create the situation in your mind where that is normal for you, where that is just your experience. Then that's it. Richie, did I ever answer your question, actually? That the subconscious will understand what you want. The subconscious understands what you assume. Wanting is very little in manifestation. People, I'm not sure everyone understands, even everyone who's teaching. It's not what you want. You can want whatever, but if you don't assume it to be true, your subconscious is not going to take what you want. It's going to take what you assume to be true. This is why we don't want to think negative thoughts, because if you are constantly in a fearful state, of course you don't want that thing to happen, the thing that you're fearing. You don't want that. But your subconscious, just like you said, Richie, it's copy paste. If whatever feeling the story is creating, whatever feels to be true, that's what is going to manifest. Yes, thanks. Awesome. Also, by the way, now that we're here talking about it, I also hear or read sometimes, well, I can just affirm that my negative thoughts don't manifest. That's not how the mind works. If the negative thought is just a fleeting thought, yeah, in that moment, affirm it's not going to manifest. But if it's a belief that keeps coming up, I would rather change that belief just to be sure. And also, if you're affirming anything about the negative thoughts, affirm that you don't have the negative thoughts. Not that you have them, but they don't manifest. You don't want to have them. It doesn't feel good. How to manifest contact from SP? You can affirm that you're in contact. You can affirm that they contacted you. You can affirm that you're having communication. You can visualize them texting, calling. You can affirm that they are texting and calling. Or I played a game, invented a game. I think I invented it. I don't know if I did. And manifested, by the way, manifested. So I was manifesting contact from someone, and I decided that every time I'm receiving a message or call from anyone, before looking at my phone, I was going to assume and imagine that it's the person every time. And then I would just take my phone and to reply normally. It took a bit, I have to say. I kept doing this for a couple of months at least. And nothing was happening, by the way. For at least a couple of months, nothing was happening. But I kept doing this in my mind. Every time a message would come, I would, oh, this is the person, I would imagine it. At some point, it literally manifested like that the person started texting me constantly, just like I was imagining, constantly receiving the messages from this person. So that is also something you can do. It's very fun. Every once in a while, I do have to catch myself, because I do sometimes suddenly think about the bills for next month, but I have to tell my ego that I don't need its protection. Yes, yeah. Do that, just in the moment, and go to the end. What is your end? You have an abundance of money, or money is continuously flowing in, or you name it, your end goal. And in that moment, be that person. So if I am a person who has an abundance of money flowing in consistently, steadily, would I worry about a bill? I wouldn't. So what would my state be of abundance? And when you're affirming, you can either do self-talk like that, or simply affirm or imagine or sit and feel. Shift your state, however you do that. And yes, affirmations can do that too, visualization, or just like pondering on the idea of being abundant. It creates a feeling state that is abundant. And that is the perfect time to do it, so that you don't let your mind tell its story and take it seriously. And I understand, it can be scary sometimes, especially if you focus on the 3D and all the things that could happen. But go inside, go to the end. The same thing for all those of you who are manifesting an SP. Every time you think about how they're not contacting you, go to the end. If you are in contact, what manifests is what you keep assuming to be true. So in order for contact to manifest, you have to assume that contact is already happening. So if contact is already happening, you won't worry about contact. If you're worrying about contact or the lack of money or weight gain or whatever it is, if you're worrying about it, it just means that you're in that state. So you have to pick yourself up and put yourself in a different state. And by doing so over and over, you habituate yourself to the new state. That's what you're after. You're welcome, Kevin. By the way, Fitness for N, I have a couple of videos specifically about manifesting contact. It's in my SP playlist if you want to watch the videos. Hi there. I am just waiting for questions about manifestation for those who have just joined. By the way, everything you're manifesting is self-concept. I said don't ignore self-concept earlier. What I meant, I do this too. What I meant was more like self-worth, self-love, and those things. But every other thing that you are manifesting is self-concept. Like, for example, the lack of money, or weight loss, weight gain, and stuff like that too. Because it's the way you're viewing yourself. And no matter what you're manifesting, it's about the way you view yourself. So if it's about lack of money, you are viewing yourself as someone has too little, let's put it like that. So what you're doing when you're shifting states is that you are becoming, at least for the moment, someone who has an abundance of money. That's also self-concept. Self-concept is like literally concept of self. It's how you view yourself. It's not about the money. Well, it is. Of course, it is about the money, but it's more about you having or not having it. And that creates a state. And that state can either be very scary, fearful, uncomfortable, or that state can be abundant and relaxed and confident. I've always heard from some people that you have to be careful when listening to music while you are on a manifestation path. Is this true? Sort of, because if you keep listening to, I don't know, sad songs, I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I stopped doing that. There are some songs with the worst lyrics that are so beautiful, and I understand you want to listen to beautiful music, but I wouldn't want anyone to completely freak out and be really, I don't know, never put any sad song on, or music that you like. Maybe don't have it be on replay for 3 days in a row. um I I wouldn't I wouldn't want you to completely freak out and just not listen to the music that you love. When you do, maybe be aware that this is okay. This is just music. This has nothing to do with me. But you know, as I'm talking, I'm thinking, how what do I do? I have worked on my thoughts so much that even when the music is super beautiful, the text is repelling when it's negative. I have become like impatient with negative stuff. Like I don't want to hear it. I don't know if maybe it's just me, it's just a personality thing. Would you use the same tactic of repetition and getting technical if the conscious mind finds back a component SP doesn't know you and or the whole process? This won't work. Um, yes, sort of. If the problem is, like, for example, if you're manifesting an end goal and your mind brings up something before the end goal, a problem that comes before the end goal, like the SP, your SP doesn't know you. What do you mean you're married with children? This is one of the times I would say maybe manifest in steps, or just get your mind used to, like, no, SP knows me. You can do it two ways. Either you start affirming that we're getting to know each other. We just met. I don't know. She fell in love. Whatever the next step is for you. Or you can be even more bold, which is wonderful in manifestation, and say to your mind, what do you mean SP doesn't know you if we are together? This is a trick that I use a lot to go to the end. Like, if I am with this person, if I say I am with this person, it means the person knows me. So you confuse your mind on purpose on the negative story. I'm married to my SP. I don't know, we live together. We're happy in a committed relationship. Hey, but your SP doesn't know you. What do you, of course, SP knows me if I'm with her right now. We're together right now. I don't know, we're married right now. I don't know what you are manifesting, but go to the end as a reply to your negative thought, like, what? And repeat this. Yes. So basically, becoming technical, repetition. But also, like, yeah, self-talk. Or even watching movies and stuff. You know, but back to negative songs and negative movies. I can't say I like never ever watch a sad movie, or never, or dramatic or action where there's, you know, or listen to sad songs and stuff like that. I do. It's just that maybe don't do it all the time, so that you don't get. This is just like listening to the news. I haven't heard the news, like on purpose, sitting and watching the news for 10 plus years, maybe 15 plus years. You hear stuff from other people, but yeah, maybe don't exaggerate it. Maybe don't do it all the time, but also, like, don't. If it's an experience, if you enjoy it, horror movies, some people like that. But yeah, maybe don't inundate yourself with it. But also, if you enjoy it here and there, that's fine. I ask about the movies too because I'm also a filmmaker, and I usually watch movies and they inspire me to create. Yeah. Okay. Just be aware that that's a movie. It's not real. This is not my story. It has nothing to do with me. I had a client who was an artist, and she was creating, her art was really dark. And she was dealing with the same problems in her private life. So I made her pause with creating this really dark art. And she manifested what she was manifesting in her private life, but she was also manifesting the career. And then we talked again, and she said, this is inspiring. Like, this is how I create. So this is what we did. That I said, just be aware that this is just art. It's like, it has nothing to do with real life. Don't get too much into it. Don't start like feeling it real and cry for 3 hours, and it worked. She manifested her career also. So it's all about, it's more about what you're aware of. Um, oh, I was not asking because I thought other people was asking. Well, I'm trying to move houses. It's a complicated question. There's no houses in my country to rent. The demand is huge, so is the price. Um, so the prices are obscene. Since I'm unemployed and most landlords ask for salary receipts, I feel absolutely stuck and imprisoned where I am. I keep being rejected by real estate agents and landlords. They want couples because of two salaries. My neighbors are very loud. A lot of 3D stuff here. When you are manifesting and you're staying in the end and you're creating your story and you're staying in that end state and you're repeating that, coming back to it, impressing on your subconscious mind, your mind is not going to care what is going on in the 3D. This is why we manifest. If we were to work with the 3D, we would do it the old way, figure it out in the 3D, go get a job, etc., etc. Your mind doesn't work with the 3D, it doesn't care. When you have impressed something on your subconscious mind, your mind has to find a way to make it happen. So if the way is you getting a job with a huge salary, then that's going to be it. If the way is, I don't know, someone offering their house to you for free, a million possibilities exist as a solution. Don't dwell on it. You go to your end. What do you want? You want a house. Use Neville Goddard's technique here, which I have used with a client. Let me see if I can remember others. I remember one particular client who manifested in a sort of a similar situation, and she manifested. Every night you go to sleep in your own house, the house that you want to live in, and you feel being in that house, feeling safe, everything is taken care of. You don't dwell on how it's going to solve, you go to the end. That's your job in manifesting. Then yes, limiting beliefs will come up during the day you tackle these, but all these 3D problems, the problem with that is that you're dwelling on it. It's the dwelling on it that's the problem in manifestation. It's not, you don't have to figure out the how. This is the wonderful thing about manifestation. It's not your job. Your mind will know how to bring it about. So just stay in the end. Let me see where I was. Anna is going to play Neo in the Matrix remake confirmed. How did you know? Who told you? What a genius, wonderful movie, though. Hi there. Good to see you, Anna. Good to see you here. Thank you for always being so generous and answering so many questions whenever we ask. Well, thank you for your kind words. It's my pleasure. Um, I have been through a lot of ups and downs and hells with manifestation myself. So I know, trust me, I know what you're going through. And if there's anyone out there who thinks you will never learn manifesting, trust me, you will. If I did, and I know everyone says this, but um, whenever you're in doubt, go watch my video about my journey and just see how it all started. And um, we all start somewhere, and I have had the same questions that you guys have. I have dealt with some of the same problems, so I'm happy to help. I feel tired of the whole situation. Do you have a practical suggestions of what to do to attract a beautiful home I can afford? Thank you. I did think about Neville. It's just that I don't know what to imagine. Also, since I'm unemployed and stay home a lot, I'm constantly hearing my neighbor's noise, so I get discouraged. Um, Affirm that your neighbors are um, silent, that they're kind, and everyone is you pushed out, including your neighbors. So you can affirm that maybe in the moment that is happening. And think nothing is moving, it's impossible, etc. Also, my mother keeps telling me how impossible it is. Your mother is you pushed out, so she is going to tell you your own assumptions. When someone is telling you stuff that you don't want to hear, revise on the spot. Don't engage. Don't ever engage in the conversation. You can even say, "Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know." So don't really get into it and start arguing or even talk about it. Affirm the opposite right away or revise on the spot. As for what to imagine, literally Neville's technique. He was in the military. I don't remember the story in details. He was in the military. He wanted to be free, and I don't know what it's called actually. To um, I don't remember. There's a word for it. To I don't become free from the military. How do you say it? And go home. He didn't want to be in the military. He had a discharge. Discharge. Yeah. Thank you. Hi there. um, and he had been rejected. He had asked to be discharged, and he had been rejected. So I don't even remember him once or twice. Anyway, they had said no, no, not possible. So what he did was that every night he went to bed in the military, in his military bed. He would imagine that he was falling asleep in his house every night. He did this every night. And things happened. I don't remember the details of this story, but this story is easy to find. They discharge him literally. They accept it, and he goes home from a completely impossible 3D situation. So the fact that you're unemployed, the fact that your mom tells you it's impossible, the neighbors are noisy, etc., that's not the challenge for your mind. Your mind doesn't have challenges actually. Once it's impressed, it's going to execute. So fall asleep in the house where you have already manifested, which means you can afford it. The situation in that moment is that you could afford it. That's why you are in that house. Play with that. I have a belief inside of me that I have been trying to change for years. It hasn't changed. What do you do when affirming doesn't work? Is that a specific is that no, is there a specific technique? The way I'm laughing is that I have had this same conversation with a client lately, and I figured out that this wonderful, sweet girl has been affirming a few things for a long time. And just like you, it hadn't worked. So now I'm going to tell you the story and you see if that's you too. So she has been affirming, 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 affirming. But every time the mind brought up the opposite, she would just take it as facts. This is the typical classical back and forth, wavering, it's not going to manifest like that. So if you're manifesting a lot and then your mind brings up the opposite the day that that's not true, by the way, that's not you. And you go, yeah, yeah. Then the assumption is not going to change. That's the moment where you need to go, hey, no, wait, no, not true. Not true. I'm awesome. And you challenge that negative belief. So this is very common, by the way. Either that or there's a different limiting belief that you might be ignoring. But mostly it's that. Right. Back to the house manifestation. My mother will be happy for me to agree with her. Agree with her in the 3D. Agree with her. I will do that more often. I also remembered Neville's story when he was manifesting a home. I know the army story. Good. Yes. We tend to give the 3D too much credit. It's not that powerful. And I promise you, I have been in situations where the 3D sucked and it felt impossible and I was reacting, etc. And that is why, like, I have done this. And then the solution is always going back into your imagination, because when I did that, the 3D sort of fell apart. At first, it falls apart in a way that it doesn't seem so impossible anymore. It's not that important. And then it literally just changes. But it's you going inside your imagination and imagining the end. Neville Goddard says that never bring your 3D limitations into imagination. Imagination is going to manifest. Just like Richie said, I don't know if you're still here, Richie, copy paste. Your mind does copy paste. So if you're bringing your limiting stuff from the 3D into imagination and you're imagining that, like dwelling on the problems is literally imagining that, then your mind is going to go, okay, more of that. So when you are in your mind, dwelling on stuff, imagining stuff, having inner conversations, I don't know, visualizing, affirming, thinking, make sure that that's things, stuff, situations that you want to experience. By the way, if you have a challenging person in the 3D, agree with them. I have done this too. Like literally being rejected in my face and me saying, yes, of course, sure. We do it your way. No problem. I've done this several times, actually, with different people. And then just go in my imagination and affirm the opposite, or I don't know, imagine the opposite, ended up manifesting. The good thing about just agreeing is that you finish the conversation right there. Or it's easier, at least, to finish it. Instead of arguing back and forth, you become emotional and re-impress all that negative stuff. It really seems too real, the 3D. Thank you, Anna. You are welcome, and you can do it. You can do it. You just need to get into the habit. Anna, if I have a one-on-one session with you, do you think we can find if I have a different belief blocking me and not the one I've been affirming against for freaking years? I've given up on affirming. The way one-on-one sessions work is that the client comes to me with like, I can't tell you what will come up right now. It happens like this: that client comes to me with a problem and I start asking questions, and a lot of times I find that the problem is slightly different than the client realized, or there are other problems, other limiting beliefs, or the things that the client does. So it's completely different from person to person. the way I find the problems is by asking questions, and whatever you tell me will bring up other questions, and then we work on that. So I literally can't tell you right now what will happen in a session. It's almost like Neville's ladder exercise, where you say, I will not climb the ladder. And then before you sleep, you visualize yourself climbing the ladder. Yes, yes. And also, I, for whoever doesn't know this, this is a very famous thing, by the way, of Neville Goddard. He had a group of people, and they would imagine climbing a ladder before going to sleep, like literally doing a SATs. And then during the day, they would say, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And the point of that, it was um, to prove to them that whatever they imagine to be true and impress and feel real, which is very easy with a visualization like that, that will happen. What you assume to be true will happen. And an affirmation like this in future tense, he also said in other texts, in different times, he said, I will become something is less powerful than I am. So first of all, that affirmation was in future tense. And second of all, there's an element of this that I haven't read him talk about it. I have never heard him talk about it. But like I mentioned earlier, when you say, I will not, and then say the thing that you will not do, like I will not climb a ladder, I see climbing ladder. So even if you're not saying, if you're saying not, your mind is going to imagine what you're saying. So I don't know if he was doing this on purpose because of this also. I see. Thank you. Have you ever had a client who was so traumatized all techniques failed with them? Um, mm, not not that the techniques failed. I have had a couple of clients, 2, 3 clients who I literally don't know if they manifested their desire or not, because they weren't doing the work. And the ones that I'm thinking about, they were all manifesting an SP. And session after session after session after session, what I was hearing was, well, I can't, no, it wasn't just SP. There was, now I'm thinking about the clients that I've worked with. The problem that they had, that they always came with, was, I can't affirm that because it's not true. Like, I can't affirm my SPs in love with me because they're not. I can't, and I kept simplifying it also, like, just, okay, then just imagine your SP smiling at you. And then the next session I would hear, I can't imagine them smiling or affirm that they smile at me because they don't. The mind doesn't work like that. It's like, it's the opposite. It's the other way around. You have to first affirm the lie, and then it will become true. It can never become true on its own. So I have experienced that with clients. But the techniques, no, I usually find a technique that they are comfortable with doing. Because thinking a thought on purpose, everyone can do it, that can't fail. But you have to be aware of your thoughts, etc. These are all things, like, clients have problems with different things. Some are too focused on the 3D. Some are continuously focused on negative things that haven't even happened. Some aren't doing the work and they are admitting. But there's always a way of, like, getting them back on track. I don't know if you heard it, by the way. I'm about to wrap this up. I will do other live sessions like this. I am starting weekly group coaching sessions with a monthly subscription, which is going to cost far less than one-on-one coaching. This is for all those of you who want to continuously have access to me as a coach, at least every week, and stay on track. Have someone who gives a solution to a problem that you have had the previous week, etc. It's going to be weekly sessions in groups where but not like this. Again, not like this where I'm the one talking. It's going to be conversations. It's going to be an online meeting. And I forgot to mention it earlier. It's going to start from January 1st. So you have a full month, the whole month of December to think about it. For anyone who is interested, email me through my booking page. Emailing me about this is not binding. If you have questions, don't worry, let me know. And if you're worried that all techniques, that there isn't a solution for you, there's always a solution. But it's on you to apply it. And for many of you who are familiar with Neville Goddard, he talks about this a lot. And I can tell you from own experience also that just by knowing that manifestation works is not going to manifest it. You have to literally apply the technique, whichever technique, whatever works for you, whatever is easy for you. I will book an appointment with you in the coming days. You're very welcome. I would love to help you figure out what's not working. For the subscription, by the way, for whoever is interested, email me and I will send you the link. The link for the subscription payment. It's not going to be in the description box, at least for now. I'll see if I will put it there at some point, but for now it's not going to be. So I think I will wrap up this live. I wish you a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. Thank you for having spent the time with me. I love answering your questions. And for whatever you are manifesting, I would love to hear your success stories. And yeah, I will do more of these live Q&As, and this subscription group coaching, the weekly group coaching, is something new that I'm adding. The live Q&As are going to continue. My one-on-one coaching sessions are also going to continue as normal. That's just something extra that I have thought of for a while, and now I'm finally doing it. For whoever is interested, email me and I will give you all the information that you need. Thank you again, Anna. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me. I really enjoy your presence, and I really appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, night, and see you in the next video or in the next live. Not the next live session, live Q&A. That came off wrong. We're not going anywhere. So, bye-bye.